What's up, everybody? I am back with a new reaction video. This coming from a channel I'm not familiar of called Bookfox, and it's about the title is nine male character mistakes that that scream a woman wrote this. So I'm very curious to see his take, and follow me in the links in the description below. Definitely follow this guy because I want to make sure, whatever I'm reacting to, I want to give credit where credit is due. Follow me on my Twitch and YouTube channel where I review content, react to videos, as well as stream video games. And I'm so eager to see what his take on how male characters are being written in media these days. So let's hop right into it.
Botch it up when you're writing a male character. And yes, this is aimed at female authors, but I also think guys could probably benefit from it too. Now, my last video was about how not to write women, so if you missed that, check it out and make sure not to miss the comments section, which things got a little heated there. But for now, we're going to concentrate on 9 mistakes authors make when writing men, and we're going to start with number 1, physical fantasies. The first mistake I say semi-frequently is wishful smells. Unless your male character is a lumberjack, they are not going to smell like wood. And especially if you have a teenage character in a YA book, they do not smell of cedar and leather. I'm just gonna be honest, they smell like socks in locker rooms. A second really annoying fantasy is random physicality. Here is an example of something you should never write. His shoulders flexed powerfully as he opened the door. Folks, it's a door. It does not require any flexing to open. There's just no need to make up random physical events for your male characters to flex their muscles. And lastly, number 3, ripped with zero effort. Unless your male character is getting 3 hours in the gym and they have a personal trainer and a nutritionist, they're just not gonna have a body like Thor. You want to treat male character bodies in a respectful and authentic way, similar to the way that you wish other
Experience Japan on a journey customized to you. Explore
authors might treat female bodies. The second mistake when writing men is giving them a genius level emotional IQ. So listen, not every good man out there has a super high emotional IQ. Guys say stuff that tends to be misinterpreted. Guys often miss opportunities to speak, like say the wife is in front of the mirror preening and you are concentrating on something else and you miss the perfect opportunity to say like, oh, you look so beautiful. Yeah, that's a total hypothetical example. That never happened. If your male character always says the right sensitive things at exactly the right sensitive time, then you are not writing a man, you are writing an idealized projection of a man. You're basically writing a mannequin for female readers to get off on. Yeah. I know there is an emotional spectrum out there, and there's a lot of guys who are extremely emotionally tuned. But I think that women have the tendency to write men as all having this emotional IQ equivalent to like Einstein's actual IQ. Now, I think the opposite is also true. Female authors will sometimes write the villainous main character, like, the husband that leaves her or something, as having the emotional IQ of a rock. This third mistake is probably the most controversial one in this whole video. It is number 3, sexual fidelity as key morality. I know the comments section is gonna sizzle with debate and disagreement on this one, but just hear me out. It is a problem when every single male hero ends up being laser focused on their female partner, as if no other women exist in the world. And sometimes it doesn't seem like they even have a person.
Like The Notebook? You didn't tell me, like, now that one of those guys is probably enough that there's one specific girl wasn't banging other chicks in the meantime. Or at least the rich guy should have been.
Personality trait other than obsession. So my advice would just be not to have every single heroic.
And honestly, more often than not, a girl will be turned off by a guy who's just constantly obsessed with her, or up under her. Because who they want to be obsessed with her is these hyper attractive, hyper successful dudes that they want obsessing over her, not the local mechanic.
male character be written as naturally, crazily, unifocally monogamous. Now, it's fine to have them act monogamous. It's perfectly fine to have a heroic male character who is attracted to other women, but who remains true to their spouse or partner. Now, the flip side holds true as well. Don't have every single villainous main character be evil because they are a cheater. Sometimes they are evil for completely different reasons. Just like some men write women as though their main value is in terms of their physical beauty, sometimes women write men as though their main value is in terms of sexual fidelity. The fourth mistake some authors make when writing male characters is making them only a romance option. So ask yourself, do you have a male character in your book who exists for a purpose other than romance? Do they have a role to play in the plot other than just coupling with the female lead? Really, this is analogous to the sexy leg lamp test that I mentioned in my video about how to write female characters well. Let's call the male version the sexy Greek statue test. If your male can be replaced by a sexy Greek statue throughout the whole story, then they're not a real character. Now, for an example of this, I find this to be often the case in Hallmark style movies. The main male lead just exists to fulfill the relationship fantasy of the female main lead. So you avoid this just by having the male.
Yeah, I watch a lot of those Hallmark movies only for the Christmas stuff. And check out my channel if you want to hear my thoughts on Christmas Hallmark movies that I review every holiday. You can check out my channel and you hear my thoughts on the more recent stuff that's past December.
Character play some sort of role in the narrative. This next mistake that is sometimes made with male characters is number 5, deeply improbable contradictions. So what I see with these characters is a hyper masculine character in one area, but then all the rest of them is feminine and soft and exactly what a woman would want. For instance, he is a motorcycle mechanic who just happens to be the best listener of all time. Or he is a ruthless billionaire CEO who is also the best father and the best chef and the best lover. So these aren't characters, these really are just projections of female fantasies. Now, if you're writing romance, you probably...
Yeah, that is annoying that some girls do. I'm pretty sure there's annoying stuff that guys do in terms of how they write women from time to time, but I'm pretty sure it's not as egregious as how women write these guys in certain narratives, where it's like, because women want everything, but still not satisfied. They want this unicorn perfect of a example of a guy that does not exist except in her head. That probably becomes like a detriment to females because they read certain material or they watch certain movies and they think or they feel, I should say, because more often women say how much they feel rather than how much they think, but they feel like guys should behave this way, like he should be able to be like the perfect father and take care of his grandmother, but also be able to rail you so good in the bedroom at the same time and make tons of money and just walk in the room and be just like the masculine presence that all the girls want, but he won't touch them. It's just like it is a difference to how women, how reality actually works, that women just cannot fathom or want to understand because they want to live in a delusional mindset.
Want to commit some of the mistakes I'm mentioning in this video because you're not trying to deliver a real human being to the reader. You're trying to deliver a fantasy. But if you're writing in any other genre, it's usually best to try to find a way to portray your male characters as being actually human rather than sort of cardboard cutouts of a fantasy. Now, this next point is actually the opposite of that last point. It is number 6, the stereotype. Now, number 5 was about wild contradictions smashed into each other, but sometimes authors have the opposite problem and they create create this stereotype of man where everything is like hyper masculine. And if you're worried that this is the sort of error that you fall into, I would recommend taking the John Wayne test. The John Wayne test simply asks, is there at least one trait about your male character that is not stereotypically masculine? Perhaps something that just rounds them out and makes them feel like a real human being. For instance, if your male character is defined entirely by devotion to their work and their sports team and their convertible, then you probably want to find a way to round them out a little bit and give them some dimension. I think a good example of this might be PETA in the Hunger Games. If you remember, he's a baker. That's not, stereotypically masculine, I feel like. The seventh common error is male friendships. When female writers try to write about male friendships, usually like guys just hanging out with each other in a group, they often end up projecting female relationship values onto those group of guys. So I find that those relationships end up looking a little bit more nurturing.
I just did like a reaction video a little bit ago about reacting to a different channel about how male friendships, are conveyed in realistic terms, and not just trying to project some kind of shipping or assuming that they gotta be gay for each other, instead of just understanding male platonic relationships, are true friendships where we bond over shared interests and or work together, or we went through battle together, that kind of thing, and forge long-lasting, solid friendships that most of them will not understand, because how they view or have female friends is completely polar opposite how like male friendship are. Often they get jealous of how male friendships operate compared to female friendships, often dealing with like two-faced girls in their group, and nobody can't think for themselves because they gotta have a group think. If you think for yourself, you end up getting shunned, and it's kind of a weird thing amongst females. No, not all, because there's gonna be some people in the comments that can't sit there and just take in what I'm saying without saying like, well, not me, or not my friend Jenny. Is like, obviously not talking about you then.
A little bit more supportive and a little bit more confidential than I'm used to when it's real guys hanging out. For instance, a female friend of mine gave a book to one of my male friends to read, and he asked her, why are your male characters always complimenting each other? Because that felt a little weird to him. Like, that's not normally how guys relate all the time. There's a lot more competition and one-upsmanship. There's a lot more ribbing. There's a lot more physicality, like guys hitting each other, and there's a lot more sometimes off-color humor. Now, obviously, these are really broad stereotypes, but I think it's helpful to remember.
There's guys like, because honestly, go to any barbershop in the world or in America and listen in. You'll be shocked to hear how men talk amongst each other. You would think it's like, oh my God, this is about your fight. But sometimes we just like talk crap about each other. Like one-upsmanship and everything like that. But that's how guys bond. Okay? I remember this episode of the Bernie Mac show a long time ago, where Bernie Mac was taking Jordan to his first barbershop. And the boy get a little like tense because he's a little like soft. But he gradually understood how male friendships operate. Where the kid got a little fidgety because two dudes were arguing over like a sports game, and he thought it was about to be a fight or something like that. But Bernie had to warn the boy. It's like, or at least not warn him, but like let him know, like, hey, this is just how guys talk. They ain't about to fight. It's just like we just like talk crap about each other. But this is how guys get along. We all do this to some extent. Because it's just it's just sort of explain, because it's not like like some caveman chest bumping kind of crap. It's just guys just knows how to. We just know how to hang out with each other without it being like a huge thing. Very rarely we actually have some kind of physical come to blows kind of thing. But even if it comes to that, most of the sensible dudes, usually the elders in the room, will kind of squash that rather than lead to anything, too crazy.
When you're trying to write,
I think we're going to go with you guys.
That's great. Awesome. Let me get the contract.
One last thing. You're
how a group of guys would hang out. And here's an eighth mistake you can fall prey to when trying to write men: mono emotions. So what is it with so many male characters being brooding? Like, they just brood, and you're like, is there any other aspect of your personality that we should know about, or is it just the brooding? Another really common mono emotion that I see in male characters is sometimes they'll just always be angry. They're just constantly filled with rage. And often the way that this rage gets manifested is that every single bad character ends up being a domestic abuser. And after a while, I'm like, are there any male characters in novels who are bad and do not domestically abuse their partners? Now, hear me out here. I'm not saying don't write domestic abuse male characters. Like, no, obviously those exist. Obviously those need to be represented in fiction. I'm saying if every single male character in your book is always filled with anger or rage, I think that's kind of a stereotypical problem, and you want to examine that. All right, and now we are down to our very last point, number 9, men in general. Now, so far everything we've talked about in this video has been about the male leads, the male protagonists, or one of the main characters. So this point is about minor characters, minor male characters. Remember that the way you write the opposite sex is often not revealed by the way you treat the major characters, because you spend so much time on them and you're extra careful, you don't make those common mistakes. But with minor characters, you sort of get a little sloppy because they're just a minor character, like it doesn't matter that much. The most common mistake that male writers make is sort of erasing female characters from the background and just not having very many minor female characters. The typical mistake that women make, on the other hand, is they make all the male minor characters into evil characters. They are all cheaters, they are all rapists, they are all spousal abusers. So just try this quick test on your book. I call it the scoundrel syndrome. Do you have at least one male character in your book who is not one of the main characters, who is depicted as a decent human being? So a few caveats. It can't be a love interest, right? It can't be part of a love triangle that the female character is trying to choose between. It also can't be a gay best friend. I say that because sometimes the women will write the gay character sort of as fulfilling the role of a female best friend. The gay character is non-threatening toward the female character, and that's why the author feels like it's okay to have that character be morally fine. So that doesn't count either. Anyhow, I hope that helped you when trying.
Yeah, I would applaud a female writer to write if they want to put in like a gay character, not being stereotypically flamboyant and also not the typical best friend. No, just like be like, could be easily the antagonist actually of the book or show or movie, and actually be like a normal dude, just happen to be gay, but not super flamboyant or talk like this, like none of that crap. I'll be super impressed of the self-control and self-realization of the material and people in general that she wants to try to, or at least understanding people, understanding stereotypes, and especially people of the opposite sex, and try to. I understand sometimes it's a fantasy, but you also want to make sure there actually is some level of realism in that fantasy to hang your hat on. I'll be like amazed if somebody had that level of self-awareness to not do the cliche thing. Anyway, this is actually very informative. He did some serious research. I applaud that. Next time we'll go covering, because I guess this is his second video, he did the women thing first. So the next time I'll cover like the things about females that is often gotten wrong. But in any case, I will see you guys in a little bit for the next video. So stay tuned, and I'll see you all soon. Oh, and leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think about, his 9 little bullet points here. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is something that you want to like kind of adjust or add a caveat? I'm curious to know. So leave a comment below, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.